I'm going to keep it under control. Yesterday, I had a hard time with that, though. I was frustrated. I was irritated. I didn't have enough sleep. And then I got in traffic and had to put up with stupid people who don't know how to change lanes with turn signals. Or they turn them on and then drive for 18 miles in a straight line and never even change lanes. And that drives me crazy, too. And when you got 2.5 hours of sleep, it all drives you crazy. And that was how I started my day yesterday. I was frustrated that I had to take my wife to work first. I was frustrated that I didn't get enough sleep the night before. I was frustrated that my website had been down 7 times in the same day, and every time my hosting company gave me a different excuse, and none of them were, in my opinion, true. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. Look, we all have days that start like that. Okay. Not all of us, just the ones of us born on this mud ball called Earth who also wear skin and we're called Homo sapiens. Okay, all of us. We all have days like that. Days where all the frustration just gets to be too much. Where the people around us are wearing us out, where the things that we want to get done don't get done, where it's just overwhelming to be here. And we want to check out, or we want to rearrange the circumstances. We want everything else to fix so that we're not so frustrated, and it just doesn't seem to happen. Yesterday, as I was having one of those days, and knowing that in the isolation of my car I could vent and just be myself, because this woman who's been at my side for 25 years now, 24 years of marriage, we understand each other. She knows who I am, and she knows what really is in my heart, even if what's in my mind is dripping out and it's not perfect. That's why we call what we do transforming grace. Because it's that grace, that mercy, that gentleness, that ability to listen when I'm ready to explode that keeps me from going off the deep end sometimes. And as she got out of the car and turned up the music for me, it was the kind of music that allows me to stop focusing on here and focus on somewhere else. The kind of words that make me stop thinking about what's going on in my world and start thinking about what's going on in the world. The things that stop the pace of my heart from being frustrated with the grind of the day that make me so angry, and instead cause me to wonder and wish and want and dream and hope, not for myself, but for others. Now, I don't know what it takes in your world to get your mind right. Maybe you got to turn on some, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Or maybe you need some driving down the dirt country roads, or whatever it is that you need to get your mind right and stop focusing on yourself, on the circumstances, on the negativity, on the frustration. You got to stop it. Because you can't lead like that. I spent 3 hours with a client after starting my day like that. And the difference between a successful session with a client and a failed succession with a client is where my mind is when I walk in the door. And for me, that difference was that 45 minutes stuck in traffic was redeemed by, bought back, won back over to my side to be a good thing by the music I was listening to in my commute. I don't care how you lead, how much you lead, and by that I mean the volume, the magnitude of your leadership. 2 people, 2,000 people, 200,000 people, 2 million people. If people are following you and trusting your leadership and trusting your quality and your mind, you got to get your mind right. You got to get it right, and you got to keep it right. And sometimes getting your mind right and keeping your mind right is like autopilot on a plane. It's not a straight line. It's always got to adjust. It's like sailing across the lake without getting stuck on a sandbar like I did. You'll have to watch the video a few weeks back. But it's never a straight line. You got to get your mind right. You got to keep your mind right. And you got to do it over and over and over again if you want to lead. So find out what it is that brings you back to the center. Is it meditation? Is it instrumental music? Is it thought? Is it prayer? Whatever it is that brings you back to the center. If you're going to lead, get your mind right first. Don't lead other people in your own frustrations. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.